welcome to the Ladies Tale Podcast, my favorite podcast. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have favorites. My bad. It is one of the podcasts that we have, one of the four. And you see how I toned that down so I could be semi-professional, like this close to professional. It's not going to happen. It was fun trying, though. Moving on, I'm Winona. And just in case you were wondering, I'm a bit of a narcissist. So you see, you're like, oh, hold on. It's this way. I have me in a magazine sitting behind me just to remind me that I'm beautiful and wonderful. And I wrote books. You thought I was in a magazine for something cool, didn't you? I do not. So they are, and I thought divorce was bad, and I thought being grown up was easy. If only our mere memoir and verse, Foreign Coffee, Widow's Web, and Widow's Debt. And you can find those wherever audiobooks are found. And then there's a few more. Like we just wrote our 19th. So you can find that on www.andithoughladies.com. That's actually everything that we do, and some things that we didn't want you to know that we did that we haven't had the time to erase off of the website yet. Oh, I have a co-host today. Co-host, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I think that writing books is very cool, so I don't want to hear any of that talk from you, darling.
Considering you have your book behind you?
Right, both of them. But I am an author, an actress, an activist, and a, baby director. I have one short film under my belt. I'm also a podcaster on Femme On Podcast, and I am grateful to be here today.
Thank you for joining us. By the way, she's the one that has like the knowledge in the subject that we always talk about. So she's going to help support me. It's like props to me today. I'm joking. But yeah, you've heard enough about me today. You have. Although a narcissist never says that. But you're not here to hear about me. You're here to hear about our wonderful guests. Wonderful guests. Would you like to introduce ourselves? By the way, she's camera shy, so.
Only for today, because I live my life in front of the camera. Today I'll be a little bit behind the camera, but yes, I am Brely Evans, your favorite actress, author, entrepreneur, what you need, because I love business. So I do a plethora of things, be it dancing, managing estates, selling real estate, I probably have a little knowledge on a lot of things. I'm really happy to be here with you ladies today. Look at us author girls. I love it.
I love it. And we're cute. I mean, even the way that your name is on the screen, you're like, yeah, she's sex. Oh, you said author girls. I just recognized that's exactly what you said, which means I get to segue, something we don't really do on this show. I get to segue and go, so what have you written, and what is it about?
All right. Well, my first book I wrote is called The ABCs of I Ams. I was I do affirmations when I wake up in the morning, during my morning routine, just saying, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am resilient. I just pick words that just kind of flow to me. There's no real rhyme or reason to what I'm saying. I just kind of let it flow in the spirit. And this is the way that I kind of build myself up before I go outside and someone calls me something else, right? So I heard to, had this thought, go online and go live on my Instagram and share my I ams with them. So I was doing this during the pandemic, and people were like writing down what I was saying in the chat. And I said, yeah, say it for yourself. Type it in the chat. You're saying it for yourself. And then someone said, oh, a few days into this, maybe a week or two, where can we read all these I ams? And I said, no, no, no. I just say them off the top of my head. And she was like, no, but I want to read it. I said, yeah, but I don't have it written down. Well, one of my beautiful fans sent me an email and had written down every affirmation that I had said over the last like maybe week. And it was pages and pages and pages. And she said, this is the start to your book. Now go write it. And I said, oh my God. Like she left me no choice but to, move forward. So long story short, I sat down. I was in Atlanta working at the time on a movie. I sat down at a desk with a blank sheet of paper, not even lines on it, with a pen. And I said, Lord, if you want this book written, you must write it. This person is giving me all these I ams. I don't even know how to form it into a book, because you just don't want a list of I ams turning the page. I don't think that's it. And I literally heard ABCs. And I said, ABCs. So I wrote down ABC. And I said, well, what is that? And then I literally heard ABCs of I am. And I said, ABCs of I said, oh my God, this is so remedial. Maybe God is having me write a children's book. Okay, that's fine. The ABCs of I ams. That's how the title came. And then I said, I still don't understand. Like, I said, the alphabet only has 26 letters. So that's only going to be 26 affirmations. That's not a book. It's not enough. Then I heard 5 letters for each, I mean, excuse me, 5 words for each letter. And I said, oh, now we're talking. So I began to write words. So 5 A words, 5 B words, 5 C words, and so on. I still said, this is feeling like it's not enough. Then I heard, I literally, every piece of it, when I finished, I heard, now go through the Bible and find the scripture that correlates to each of those I am words, so people can stop just saying affirmations, but realize that they are speaking the word over their lives. So I'll give you an example where it says, I am beautiful. Well, that correlates to scripture that says, I am beautiful and wonderfully made. So now it's like, oh, I'm not just saying an affirmation, I'm actually speaking the word over my life. And so that's how the book is created. Every page, every affirmation has a scripture that tells you where it comes from, so that you are affirming yourself with, a higher power than yourself. And it's been working well for people. Testimonies come all the time. People send me videos of them writing in their book. It also has like some lines in there where you can kind of jot down your thoughts while you're having that time. So that's how to use the book, what the book's about, and how it came about.
So you mentioned your process was you sat down and you had a conversation with God. And
Yeah.
I saw, right before jumping on, I was looking at your Instagram and I saw a post that said, normalize praying before you make decisions. I'm curious, how does your faith play a role in the things that you do? Not just writing, but everything that you do.
Can I tell you this? So I grew up in church. So kind of that's all I know, right? It's like I know that there is a higher power that's guiding and directing my entire life, that knows my end from the beginning. So I kind of move in this confidence of faith that everything's going to always work out for me. So as an adult person, I was out with my girlfriends in Miami doing the girl thing, and we decided to get tattoos. So everyone's getting their different tattoos, and they go, well, Brely, what are you going to get? And then I was like, I'm going to get the word faith. And I got the word faith written in Arabic in a tattoo. And after I did, I completely heard, well, now you will live by faith. And I said, uh-oh, because what people don't understand about living by faith is it's a lot of uncertainty. And it's a lot of, I don't know what's next. It doesn't look like I have enough money to buy that house, to buy that car, to go on that trip. But I have to operate in the utmost of faith to make the moves I've made in life, be it personal or business. And so faith has taught me you're not going to see it, but you have to believe it, and you have to walk towards it when you don't see it. And if you speak it, you shall see it. So it's a trip that I tell people, don't read my book to yourself. That book is to be read out loud. The instruction in the front of the book says, read me out loud, because you activate the atmosphere every time you speak. So whether people know it or not, I have them put their hand in front of their faces. And you ladies, please do it for me. Put your hand in front of your face and say, I am beautiful. Say it. So when you said it, did you feel that air hit your hand?
Yes.
That air just moved every molecule in the room that you don't even see, orchestrating the universe to remind you that you're beautiful. And it's a trip that you'll walk out today and you'll be like, oh my God, I got like a compliment and it came out of nowhere. No, it came because you said you made this affirmation, and we talk so we don't realize what we're doing every time we speak. We are creating. Like that's what makes us so beautiful as human beings, is that our creator gave us his very creation tool, which is the gift of
Manifest.
speaking. That's how we manifest. He said, "Let there be light." He didn't think, "Let there be light." He said it. So we everything that comes off our tongue, I told her, sometimes we got to slow down what we say, because we're speaking curses and don't even mean to. And sometimes we say curses, just like this one here. I'll give you. When people say to me, "Oh my gosh, Brely, I saw you in that movie. You killed it." I'm like, did I kill it, or did I give it life? Did I take words on a page that was in the script, put it in my mind, let it come out of my mouth with air? That means I actually breathed life into words on a page. So we should change the language to, "Oh my God, you gave that so much life." Because we need to say things as they are, not, as the world would call it, because we're calling things into existence that we don't really want. The only thing that comes to kill things is what would be considered our quote unquote enemy. The Bible says he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So when you tell me, "Oh, you killed it," then you're saying, "Hey, you look like the enemy that we have." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I give life. I look like our Lord and Savior." So I'm very big on words, and that's kind of how this faith walk is working out for me, is that when I'm, you know, manifesting something, I get my words together first, and then I see it later.
I do have one question that's a bit more. You said movies in Atlanta. I
Yes.
heard that. And I just wanted to know, did it help at all in writing? Did you do screenwriting before this, or did you just sit down, listen to the voice from behind, and then start writing?
I have never written a script, nor have I had any desire to. Yet recently, I've been looking at these Tubi movies, and I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like it was shot on a cell phone. I should start tomorrow. So, no shade, no shade at all, because I'm very proud of these people who have actually, tried their hand at movie making, and I'm hearing that they're being very successful. And so they have caused me to want to start telling some stories from my life. And so screenwriting is in my near future. But no, I had never written a script before. Like I said, I literally wrote this book with the instruction of spirit, because I did not know the first. And I'll tell you this, even after I wrote all that, and I wrote it by hand, this was a handwritten job. Okay. This was not me typing. And then I hired an assistant to type everything up. And then I went on a radio interview in Atlanta with that radio personality. His name is Willie Moore Jr. And I said, "Willie, I'm in the process of writing this book. I don't know what I'm doing. God told me to write this book. I don't know how to get a publisher or what to do, but I'm just like, kind of moseying along, in the process of writing this book." After that interview, someone on those radio waves heard me, called the radio station, and said, "Please tell her I will publish her book." So that's how the book got published. And then they're the ones who did the cover, the cover of the book. They put it all together with the typesetting. I did none of that. But so I want people to know that when you speak, the universe is yet going out into the world, getting your help and bringing it back to you. Because I believed that this book was going to come out. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but we have to be reminded that the when and the how is not our business. We just need to make the request. And when I made the request, these people came out of nowhere. And I know them now, but they worked on that book, and we didn't keep writing books or anything like that. They worked on the project, and then they kind of disappeared back into their lives. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I have a whole book on Amazon. I would have never known how to do that. It's not in my wheelhouse." But when there's something you would like to do, walk towards that thing and it will walk towards you.
I feel like we should be taking notes, Winona.
I was about to say, you're making me believe. You're making me believe. For real, for
I'm
real.
making a believer out of you. I love it. Well, that's what we're here to do is each one teach one, you know?
Yeah, so like I feel like I'm gonna fly towards my dreams in a couple of weeks, and maybe they'll fly towards me too. No, they will. Let me
They
put that
will.
out. I'm gonna put out. They will fly toward me into the
They
universe.
have no
Yep.
choice. You are the highest being walking the earth. They have no choice but to be commanded by you. And I think a lot of us don't realize how powerful we are, so we kind of live in the shadows of life. But when you finally say, "Wait a minute, I can literally have anything I," we tell a little kid, "You can be whatever you want when you grow up." But then we put circumstance and situations in front of them that cause them not to believe it. But if you ask this kid, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm Superman." And we know that he's not, but in his mind, he is. So he jumps off the stair. You know what I mean? So we have to get back to that childlike belief system where I can have anything I want, and I just have to walk towards it. And so I'm still practicing. Like you never finish. This is the never ending race, right? I think I heard Oprah say, "I never knew what I was doing, but I was calling things into existence and moving towards something that I wanted, and it was moving towards me." And I didn't know it was called manifesting. I just knew, hey, my eye is on this prize, and I'm not going to stop until I get what I want. And it's like, we've seen people do it, but a lot of us get a little gun shy, when it's time to perform. But it's time to break out.
So I have a question that I'm just jumping. I'm again. Remember I said at the beginning that it was special. I had a segue, so I just jump on this show.
Yes,
Just
jump.
jumping. So how did you get started with acting? And what do you? When did you know? Like you're like I am a true actress.
Well, I'll tell you this. I never wanted to be an actress. It chose me. Growing up, I have sang in the church choir. I watched the Soul Train every Saturday morning, sitting in front of the TV as a kid. And I said, "Mom, I want to be on that show. I want to be a singer." And they said, "Yeah, what's your real job? What's your real job going to be?" And I just always had music in my life. I was, just always creating little girl groups when I was 12 and 15 and, doing the music thing. I ended up moving to Los Angeles to finish college. But in my mind, I was thinking, well, LA is where the stars are, and I could probably become a star if I just get to LA. Because, that's all I think. I'm thinking someone will discover me if I just go there and I sing somewhere and I'll get discovered. I didn't come for college, but I ended up graduating and got my degree, gave it to my parents, and said, now I can focus on this music. So I started to be a desk girl at a very popular studio called Larrabee Studio. I was there working as a desk girl when The Chronic with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre was being recorded. So I got to meet those guys, and I was around, just my eyes were big, like, oh God, if they could just discover me. So working there, worked some other little jobs, and nobody ever discovered me, but I was still going to sing on the weekends at different clubs for like $100, a whole night of singing. I'd make $100 at the end. But that $100 gave me so much life. Like, doing what I love and making some money was enough for me. One day, coming from singing, I saw a Hispanic neighbor of mine, and he has all these tattoos all over his body, and he goes, and I get excited when I see him. I'm like, "Oh my God, I saw you bite the Big Mac on a McDonald's commercial. I was like, "Oh my God, you're famous." I had no idea. He's like, "So what? It's just a commercial. You have a whole TV show." And I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Yes, you do. I know who you are. I tell everyone I live next door to a famous actress." You guys, I was looking at him like, "Who do you have?" I said, "You have me mistaken, sir. I am not on TV." He said, "But I see you with the makeup and the outfits." And I said, "I'm going places to sing." He said, "You're a singer?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh my God, I thought you were this actress all this time." Like, I've literally told people I live next door to her if I saw this, whoever it was, on TV. He said, "I'm on my way to my agent's office. Let me tell you about, if you just listen." He said, "I'm on my way to my agent's office. You should ride with me." You guys, he wasn't a good friend of mine, and I don't employ anybody to get in a car with somebody, but he was my neighbor. He lived there with his whole family. You know how Hispanic families. I'm thinking he's not gonna do anything to me because I live next door and I know his whole family. So I got in the car that day. I was selling real estate at the time, and like I said, going to sing places. His agent said, "Who is this?" He says, "My neighbor, and I think she should be an actor because I thought she was one." And she said, "You're gorgeous. Sit down, talk to me." We talked a bit. And she said, "Honey, I'm going to start sending you out immediately. Like, you can get headshots next week. You can do all the things, get an acting class. But I'm going to start sending you out tomorrow." And luckily, I told her I'm a real estate agent, so I'm in charge of my own time. So I can stop at any time and do the audition. She said, "Great. Just when I call you with an address, you just make your way over there." And I said, "Okay." She's a commercial agent. And then when I was leaving her office, she said, "Count the no's." And I said, "What?" She says, "A little game we play in the office. See how many no's you get until you get a yes." I said, "Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, cool." She started texting me these addresses. I would show up and people would be in the lobby, nervous and sweating and just talking to themselves. I'm thinking, what is wrong with these people? Why are they so scared? I had no idea. Then they say, "Brely Evans." I was like, "Oh, that's me. Let me go." It's like a doctor's appointment, you know? You go in and they said, "Oh, you're going to read the words on that board over there." And I said, "Okay." So I would read the words on the board. And then I called and said, "Okay, I went to the thing." She said, "Okay, no problem. I'll send you when another one comes." So I did this one, two, three, four, five, all the way 9 times. On the 10th audition, I go in and do the same thing. And during the audition, I just felt the urge. And here's something about listening to your gut and not being afraid. A lot of us live afraid. It said, "Ma'am, can I wouldn't really say this as a young Black woman. I wouldn't talk to my guy this way." And she was like, "Excuse me, well, what would you say?" I said, "First of all, Black girls don't call their boyfriends or significant others honey. Like that's kind of a older, like we don't say that." She said, "Well, what do you say?" I said, "Well, I would say something like Pookie Pie. Like, I would make up a name for him." And so she's like, "Okay, well, why don't you do the scene again and use your little Pookie Pie or whatever?" So I said, "Okay, great." And she said, "Action." I said, "Pookie Pie, does my butt look big in these?" And I swung my big old butt around. Y'all know I got this big old trunk in the back. And then they started laughing in the room. And so they said, "Thank you very much." And I left the office. So my agent calls me maybe a couple of hours later, like, "Oh my God, I knew it." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Congratulations, you just booked your first national, international Twix commercial." And it was my 10th audition, you guys. And I said, "Really?" And mind you, I'm so green. Had I been to an acting class prior to that, the acting class I've gone to later on told me, you just say what they tell you to say. You don't shake their hand. You don't look them in the eye. You go in there and do what they tell you to do, and then you leave. But I didn't have any of those rules. So I was uninhibited. I was just being a person. I was being real authentic to the moment. And I said, "Hey, this is not, I'll say the honey, but I'm telling you, that's not what real Black girls say." And they hired that. They hired an artist, someone who was unafraid, someone who didn't care whether they were getting the job or not. Because remember, I'm thinking I got to count the no's, so which means maybe I got to collect a lot of them. I had no anxiety about getting this job. And that's what I want every actor to know. Like, be human in the room. Let them see who you are. Like, if someone has on a nice shirt, compliment them. Don't say things to get something. Just be real. And in my realness, it allowed me to book this huge $40,000 what I made one job. And after that, I said, "Oh shoot, I'm an actor." Because if I can make what I was making in a whole year in one day of work, baby, sign me up. And so that's how I became an actor.
Okay, so I'm handing this off to Tanya because I'm having way too much fun over here just chuckling at your story. It's so real. I love it. Tanya, I think you guys know a bit about acting, and so I feel like you have more
I
questions
just
that
think
would.
that was an amazing story. I'm over here thinking that's just, you listen to the universe and you followed through.
Yeah, it's just something about, when you go to classes, they give you more constraints than freedom. And
Yeah.
so that's why now I teach an acting class, and it's called, Everything They Don't Tell You in Acting Class is the
Mm.
name of my acting class, because I like to tell people the things that I experienced, how I got through them. It's never brought up in an acting class. And I'm thinking, acting classes are great because you need to act with other students. You should understand the language and you get a lot of good information. So I don't say don't go to acting class. I want you to go. But I also want people to come to my classes because I want you to understand, until you know who you are, please don't go putting on another character.
Ooh, I really like that.
It's really important because once you get settled with who you are, how you look, how you show up in the world, can you then go and be the most authentic person in an audition?
Otherwise, you're wearing a mask over another mask.
Yes, and it doesn't read authentic, so you don't get the job, and you're wondering, how come I never book? Well, as soon as you show up as you, as soon as you realize you're the gift, as soon as you realize the color of your skin is perfect for this, the length of your hair, the crook in your teeth, the brown in your eye, as soon as the curves in your hips, that would be me. There's sometimes I'm like, Lord, I'm the curviest girl ever. It seems like my skinny girlfriends, the way Hollywood is set up, they should be working more than me. But it's not true. It's who believes the most, who is the most confident walking in the room, who can be settled with, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, God has something better for me. I'm not attached to the outcome because I know that the Bible says that he has a hope for my future, that he is going to, that it's going to be a beautiful future. If you think about it, 100% of everything you've been through, you've come through, if you think about it. So
Yeah.
why do we ever get worried about anything? Like, it's like, and I sometimes worry about things. Oh my God, what if I do this? I can't even make a mistake because God is going to use everything I do to come out for my good.
So that
He,
brings me to something else that I'm taking from your website. Tell us what it means to get off the boat of fear and walk on the water of your dreams.
so I'm so glad you asked that. The name of my company is called Water Walkers Worldwide. And I struggled in the beginning when it was time to incorporate. And I was like, Lord, water walkers, what does that even mean? And so I didn't even know when it came, again, it came to me, water walkers, I kept hearing water walkers. I was like, that doesn't even make sense. I don't know what that is. And I was led to a passage in the Bible that talks about how Peter got out of the boat when Jesus said, "Come." And he was able to do the impossible, which is we don't know of any human today that can walk on water, right? But we do know that in the Bible it says that Peter actually did it. And so when Peter was walking on the water, he was going towards Christ and his eyes were on him. Now, the Bible also says he began to think when he noticed, oh my God, it's storming out here. Oh my God, I'm walking on water. Oh my God, he began to look at the elements and he began to sink, is the way it's written. But I like to remind people, not only did he begin to sink, he never drowned. So therefore, I believe those parables in the Bible we can take for ourselves and say, wait a minute, I can jump out of a boat on some things in my life. And even while I keep my eyes on the one that can make it happen, and I'm not concerning myself with how much, when, all the things, I can do it. The moment I become concerned with the things I can't control, that's when I begin to sink. But again, I refer back to the best part of the story. He did not drown. You will not lose because even a loss is a lesson. Now you know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So I end up calling the company Water Walkers because I really wanted to encourage people to get out of the boats of their dreams. Like, I don't care if you don't feel like you have the money, the looks, the time, the whatever. Get out of the boat and start walking on water. So my group of students, we all call it, we want to live our wow life. And guess what? Wow stands for W, walk, O, on, W, water. Wow. Every time you say wow, you're saying walk on water, walk on water. When you say wow, you're saying, oh my God, that person just did the impossible. Wow. So it's so powerful. Again, the things we say. So that's where that comes from is um I just want people to really know that you can do it. Whatever that thing is, you can come out of a situation, you can get into a new situation. Nothing's holding you back but you. And I haven't even achieved all of my wildest dreams yet because I still am, working on getting out of the boat in certain areas in my own life. I'm not coming from a place of perfection. I'm coming saying, you guys, I found a formula. Let's all work it together. So that's kind of how this is working.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me most immediately is every Wednesday, I have decided to have Water Walker Wednesdays so that we do a fast from the time you get up till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm going to start a prayer call where people can call in, and it's a quick little prayer. And I tell people, you don't have to pray long. You don't have to pray loud. You don't do have all the things. It's just at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m., depending on what coast I'm on, I will hop on this call line. I'll probably make it PST and hop on this call, and I'll say a little prayer that we all are trusting that we're here on this earth for a purpose and that we've all been given a gift to live by and that we would trust it enough to try it, trust it enough to go do it, not just try it, but actually to do it. So that's what's next most immediately, because I was doing my morning walk this morning and I said, uh-oh, it's time to bring this back. I did it some years ago and people were really gifted, by that time together once a week. And it's quick little, and I tell people, you can be anywhere. You can be on your job. They're not going to tell you can't go to the restroom. You could be in a meeting. Excuse me, got to go to the restroom, but you're really looking at your phone like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. I got to go do this quick little prayer. And we're going to hop on that thing, say a little 3, 5, be on there for 3 to 5 minutes and go back to your life. But it's a sacrifice, right? It's the sacrifice of, I'm going to have all liquids from the time I wake up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to turn my plate down because I'm believing God for something. And I'm going to make a outward sacrifice that this would show up in my life. And I'm going to connect to the source who can make it happen at 9 a.m., at 12 noon, and at 3 p.m. we'll close out. So I'm really excited about just connecting back to headquarters. That's what I call it. I feel like, you're connecting back to headquarters, going to the manufacturer saying, hey, manufacturer, you've given me these gifts and talents in these different areas. I know you're going to provide the resources. I trust you. But in the meantime, I'm going to do my part and walk towards it. And so that's what's most right in front of me for, weekly. On the next level up, I've decided to also direct. So I'm very excited about you being a director of your first short film. Congratulations to you. Go do 10 more. Find things to direct. If you have the desire, that means you're not even strong enough to pick your own desires. That means it's for you. Like it's already been placed in your soul to do. So that means you are needed in that space. So I really want to produce some movies. So I'm going to, like I said, start screenwriting. I've already started directing. I've directed a few music videos and a couple of scenes of some actors. That's what I do for my actors as well in my class. um, I help them build their acting reels because I noticed that too. I'm like, I go to acting class for months and years at a time, but I don't have anything to show for it. So that's why in my class, yes, it costs much more than most, but you walk out with a true sensibility of how to navigate the business. You walk out with a actual reel to show your talent. You walk out with a online community that you can connect to and ask questions, and all of us are on different levels in that group. So you have a community of people that you can connect with. So that's all I'll be doing is running my courses. I'm going to start casting. So I would love to have your headshot and resume on file because I'm always looking for new faces to be a part of things. But that's what I'm looking to put people on. I would, you know what I'm going to be in this industry? I said, I wish I had a me, someone that was open with how it really goes, tells me the real, and also gives me a hand. I didn't have that. I didn't have anyone usher me into the industry. I just kind of showed up here, showed up there. Oh, take an acting class. Okay, where to go? Go over here, go over there. No one pointed me any direction. So I decided I'm going to be what I wish I had. So that's on the horizon for me for 2025.
What is the best way for listeners to support you and what you do?
They should follow me on Instagram at Brely Evans. I'm there almost daily. I do have a special subscription portion on my Instagram. If you go in the stories, a lot of times I put the subscription button up where you pay $9.99 to get the most authentic Brely, get the behind the scenes. And that's how you stay connected, finding out about acting classes, where they're going to be, what's going on, and just me giving tips. Because I feel like I've learned over time that people appreciate that which they pay for. And it's just the truth. So it's like, okay, well, I'll make it where everybody's accessible at $9.99. Anybody can decide, hey, I'm not going to have McDonald's today. And I'm going to go ahead and make this subscription for the whole month. I get to log on and hear what she's talking about. And then if you decide to take the course, then we set you up and get you on your way. Um, so yeah, that's Instagram is the best place. Also, BrelyEvans.com. My website. I feel like everyone let me ring the alarm. They said that TikTok was going away soon, and if they ever decide to take Instagram away, I want all of us under the sound of my voice to get your own website and to promote yourself and build your own communities. Like, people forget that there are a certain number of people in this world that are assigned to only you, that could only hear from you, your voice. And so for the people who can hear my voice and it causes them to move, I want to have a special place where they can find me. So BrelyEvans.com is my website. And Instagram is, like I said, I'm there daily. I'm also working on my new page over on Fanbase, which is owned by a Black guy. His name is Isaac Hayes the Third, I believe it is, and he has a type of Instagram that's called Fanbase. But the cool part about it, you can monetize on the day one that you get on there. You don't have to have a certain amount of followers or whatever. And it's just a really cool idea to see what's happening in the world, such as Instagram, and then say, you know what, I'm going to make a version of this that's for the people. So it's called Fanbase, and I urge all of you to check it out.
I would like you to know that I'm already over here checking it out.
Look,
Like, yo, this seems kind of nice. Okay, sorry. Hey, she just wrapped herself up nicely. Thank you, Tanya. You did a great job on this interview. I got to sit back and smile and chuckle. I enjoyed myself immensely.
I love it.
Tanya, do you want to go ahead and wrap it up and tell everyone where they can find you and your work?
I do also have a website. It's MsTanyaTodd.com, and you can find me across social media at Ms. Tanya Todd.
When you say Ms., is that MZ or MS?
MS.
Okay.
And if you know behind her, there's a very cute pink book that says 52 Love, and then there's a Comics Lit. Those are both books that one she just wrote by herself, 52 Love, and the other one, well, she's in that one. And that's amazing, by the way, the Comics Lit. I've read it. Okay, I can stop talking now. I was about to go on a whole ramble right there. But you can find out everything that your ladies are up to at www.andithoughladies.com. And when you go there, you can go down to the middle of the page and you can see the charities that we proudly support. We ask that you take a moment and support them as well. That does not have to mean monetary. You can give them a little knowledge. Sometimes they need someone who knows a little bit about some expertise that they don't have. Or you can get your hands dirty and go work and, support them that way. We thank you in advance for that. Remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona and the Missing Jade. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bye.